Good morning, everyone. Whew, I woke up late this morning. Spice came in and woke me up because he needed to come outside. So he's outside right now. hmm Literally, my first cup of coffee, well, first sip of coffee. hmm All right, I'm gonna show you guys something. Those are some beautiful cats. Yeah. We have black cats in the neighborhood. They're a beautiful sight. Hey everyone, we are in the house. All right, and I am going to bring you guys in and show you. I am going to make me some chocolate malto meal for breakfast this morning. And behind the scenes, I'm getting out some butter. I am going to need some milk for this. And I have a half a gallon of milk that I'm working on using up. And so we need butter, we need milk, and I have, let me find it. I have, yeah, I have some Giraldi chocolate that needs to get used up. That is sugar-free chocolate, okay? And so we are going to be making some chocolate malto meal this morning. So I am going to show you how I do it. I measure out 2 cups of water. Get that going. Okay. Then one-third cup of the malto meal. And y'all can see that it's afternoon. It is 12:20 and I still haven't had breakfast this morning. So I'm gonna get busy on making this. So this is more of a brunch. And some people like to wait until the water is boiling to put their malto meal in. I don't. I put it in when it's cold. And the reason is because it prevents clumps. I'm also going to add in here while it's cold a touch of salt, get my whisk out, get that mixed in there. Okay. Then I think I'll use 2 packets of my sweetener to go in there. 1/3 cup of milk in there. I'll go ahead and measure out the milk and put the milk back in the refrigerator. Let me see if I can get you guys where you can see down in the pot. Okay, there we go. It's starting to simmer, so now's the point where I keep it going for the most part until it thickens up. At this point, when it starts to simmer, you don't want to leave it. So, I'm going to throw in a nice chunk of this chocolate. This is food bank chocolate that I got from the food bank. And this is what I use it for. You can see that turned it into a nice chocolatey color. And I like to stretch that chocolate because that's an expensive chocolate. And so I stretch it out as much as I can. When I get things like that from the food bank, I stretch it. So I have enough multi-meal for at least 2 more meals for this, and I've divided the chocolate up for it. Okay. So now that this is done, I'm going to toss in the milk, and that's going to give it the milk creamy kind of texture. Now, of course, the more fat you have in the milk, the more creamy it's going to be. Okay? This is a 0 fat milk, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to add 1 section of butter, which is, I think, a tablespoon. All right. To this, and that's going to add a little fat in there. And keep it going. And then once the butter melts, I'm going to turn everything off, put the lid on it, and let it sit for a minute. Go. The butter is melted, so now I'm going to turn it off. It's thickening up, and as it sits, it's going to thicken up even more. Okay. And I don't need the lid on it. Let it sit. I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to rinse this off. I only have like 2 or 3 pieces of dishes dirty, so I'm just going to go ahead and wash these really quick. It's also going to give me a little water in the sink for when I eat this, and I can clean the pan as well. You watch this. Let that go. Alright, here we go. So those few dishes are done. And the butter and the chocolate are going back in the refrigerator. And I'll bring you guys back when I plate it up. Hey everyone, here it is, bowled up. It's a large bowl of it. It's 2 servings. So I think what I'm gonna do is eat half of it and then put the rest of it, let it cool it down and put it in the refrigerator for tomorrow morning. And since I was going to make it today, I might as well make a double serving and save the rest of it for tomorrow. So this is my brunch today. I'm bringing you guys in to let you see that I've taken all the produce out of my refrigerator because I'm going to do something with it today. So I've got all the cucumbers. I've got 1 apple. I took out some chicken that is still frozen. I took it out and put it in the refrigerator yesterday. It's still frozen. So I'm going to leave it out, let it thaw out. And I'm going to take the apple and the chicken with some mayonnaise. And this is some diced up onion. And we're going to make a chicken salad out of this. And I may end up adding some cucumber in there. Why not? Okay. So this is what I have left from previous food bank hauls and garden farm haul. Plus I have a butternut squash here. Okay. So, and I have, not done yet. I have the rest of these red potatoes. All right. So, I'm putting all of this right in front of my face. I'm going to let the cucumbers come a little bit room temperature. Okay. And I'm going to do something with all of this today and tomorrow, in the next 2 days. So if I have it in my face, then I know I'm going to make something out of it. And so I'm probably going to cut a butternut squash up into cubes, season it up, and I'm thinking, this is my thinking, that I'm going to get out my air fryer and I'm going to put some oil and seasoning on it, and I'm going to roast some butternut squash for a side. The potatoes, I'm going to make some mashed potatoes out of those. I may even roast some of those potatoes. We'll see as I go along, okay? I may do half of it in mashed potatoes and half of it in roasted potatoes. We'll see as I go along. But I'm going to get these used up. Hey everyone, I know my hair is down, okay? It is because I washed it. And so it is still a little damp underneath, and I have to let it dry before I put it up. So it's still a little damp down up next to my scalp. So anyway, I had a viewer ask about the kittens, and so let me turn this around. Let me show you. All right, there it is. It's by the step, at the bottom of the step. There's one out. I don't see the other one. So they're around. I saw the other one earlier, but didn't have my camera out here. But I wanted you to see that it is right at the bottom of the step. Okay? So the kittens are around. They're just hidden up underneath the porch there most of the time. I turned you back around so we can talk. Spice is outside, living his best life. I'm having my last half cup of coffee for the day. I ate half of my the breakfast that I made, and the other half went in the refrigerator, and I'll have it tomorrow. So it'll be, I have enough multi-meal for six breakfasts or brunches for myself. Anyway, so yeah, I am enjoying myself in the shade right now. Okay, I'm looking at Spice. Let's see. Does he see something? He's heading out into the yard. Okay. I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to go shoot across the yard barking at a cat. All right. If you see cats moving around back here, you can bet Spice will be shooting across the yard behind me. He does that quite often. All right. Well, we're going to get into the kitchen later on today, and we're going to see what I can come up with some of the items that I need to get used up. Okay? Hey everyone, I'm bringing you along as I pull some weeds in my garden and give you a close-up of some things that are happening. I do have bugs that have now stopped in my garden. My first 2 tomatoes were eaten up by bugs. And you can see on there that I have powder on the leaves now. This is called 7 Dust. It's something that my parents always used in the garden. And so it just means that I have to wait until a rain before I can harvest anything, which is fine. The tomatoes that are good are not red yet, so they're good to go. And then I wash everything, okay, after I harvest, okay? So you can see there's a nice little cluster of tomatoes there. There's a nice cluster over there. My parsley is ready to be harvested again, but I'm gonna wait until the next rain or the next time I water. And my sage has come back. My basil is ready to be harvested again a little bit. And I can't remember what that is, but I haven't harvested yet. Okay, and I'll bring you back and show you everything, okay? But as I go down this row and weed and pull the weeds, you can see I have, I have some grass weeds growing in here that I have to get up, so. Yeah, don't pet him, don't pet him. Spice, you need to be nice. You need to be nice. After being outside and picking the cucumbers that you see right there, I am in the mood for a little sun tea that I made a few days ago. And so I am going to pour me some ice cold sun tea. It's just enough to make that glass full. And this will go to be washed on the next round of dishes that I do. And I'm gonna go sit down and rest for about 10 minutes And then I'll get back up. I'll get back up and get in here with these vegetables. All right, everyone, we're gonna get busy in this kitchen, all right? And the very first thing that I wanna do is empty out this dishwasher. And so you guys are coming along as I do it. Spice is pitter-pattering around. He's letting me know that he is hungry, and that's a good thing. Okay, I am wiping off the tops of all of the items in here and getting all the things that go in this direction. I'm not going to get everything. I'm not going to be able to. So we'll make 2 trips. But I'm going to be doing some things in the kitchen, and so I need I need my dishwasher cleaned out. So I can load up all of the dishes as I go. All right, I'm gonna take this, and this, and this. I'm a little scatterbrained and all over the place today, but we'll get it done. What I'm doing is putting this ice, this case that stores the ice that I like. We're putting this back together. I do wash it every time I empty it. I run it through the dishwasher. It's just, it helps keep it clean. Okay. Now this is ready to start filling back up. We're gonna take these. Along with these. Okay, these containers, I do like to put the lids on them. But I want them dry before I do that. Hey, look at that. Drop water all over it. Alright. Here we go. I love these containers, making meals for myself and storing them up. They're wonderful to do that with. These were sent to me by a viewer, and so take and put these lids on top of them. I put the lids on them because they don't stack otherwise in the shelf, in my shelf. These two, along with these two, go this direction. All right. Yeah, I got a hot mess going on. One day I'll get in here and organize this mess. As for right now, I'm just going to stack them up right there. Okay. Right. Let me get this put away. All my spoons. I go through more spoons. Sometimes the reason that I run the dishwasher is because all my spoons are in there. All right. Okay, so now this is all empty. Now I'm going to take this out to dry, and I'm going to put some of this stuff in the dishwasher. That tea jar, along with the lid, coffee cup from this morning. And 2 spoons already rinsed off. Alright, there we go. We got everything in the dishwasher that needed to go in the dishwasher so far. Now, this goes over here. I'm just bringing you guys along while I work in my kitchen. Alright. To see that. It's not easy for me reaching things. Alright. I'm going to take this out because this is going to be a little treat for me in a little bit. And you guys in and show you what I'm doing. Everything happens in my kitchen sink, guys. It always happens right here in my kitchen sink. All right, so I'm going to tilt you down just a little bit so you can see. I'm not going to be able to make that salmon patty. So that's probably going to end up back into the pantry, okay? Because I don't have eggs. And I need eggs to make salmon patties. I'm out of eggs. So I challenge myself to use what I have until it is time for me to go to the grocery store. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm challenging myself. So we are going to run water over this. Sit a little bit. Do the same thing with this one. And let it sit a little bit. That one's set. One square. One cube. Come on. There it went. Okay. Empty that out. Let it drain. Do the same with this. There we go. It's empty. So this is now ready to go in the freezer. I'm going to put this in there. Put this in here. This is ready, but what I want to do is do that first. Y'all see what I'm doing? I'm just put water in it. Spice thinks I'm doing something really, really good right now. And so he's up underneath my feet thinking I'm going to drop something really, really good when it's just water. Okay. All right, this goes first in the freezer. Then this tray goes in there. Alrighty. That's done. Now, I'm going to bring you back. Alright, we're getting ready to take care of some of this that I have ready to create some dishes with, and so yeah, I have my already open mayonnaise. I'm gonna get a oh Lord, it all fell out. Okay. I'm picking it up behind you guys. I'm picking stuff up. Okay, this is a reality, okay? So, here's what I have in mind. Let me make sure first this lid fits this container. No, it doesn't. It goes to a bigger container. This one does. So I'm gonna slide that right up underneath there. First thing I'm gonna do is this. I have this chicken. It's finally thawed out. And so I am gonna start with the chicken salad. And I am going to cube up this chicken 1.5. Okay? Hold on a minute. Alright, I'm gonna cube up all of the chicken, but I'm only gonna use half of it. I was trying to remember why I turned my back on you guys. And the reason is because I want to put this chopping board right here instead of that container. And I'm going to slice the chicken. Being very careful. And then we're going to cut it this direction. Okay, nice and cute. This go in here. I'm going to do the same thing with this. And spice smells the chicken. Okay? I'm going to turn it this way, and we're going to cube this up. Half of this is going to go in that container. The other half is going to go in this container. Okay. This is from the rotisserie chicken that I tore apart from a previous food bank haul, and I'm going to do the same thing with this chicken breast. And I feel a bone in there. It is part of the collarbone, known as the wishbone. Hey. I feel another bone in here. I thought I did. I'm going to continue slicing it, and I will check for that bone. Okay. Yeah, I feel it. Continue. And there it is. See? Part of the ribs. Okay. rest of this is going to go into this container. So half the chicken, 1.5 breasts, went into one container, and 1.5 went into another container. And the reason is because I'm going to make 2 different dishes out of this. When I use bags for meat, these days I am not reusing them. Alright, I got that washed. Hands washed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to wash this board and knife with a little bit of dish soap. And I'm going to use this scrubber. I'm going to get some dish soap on the scrubber. Go over the knife really well. And now this. All over it. Scrub it one more time. Okay. And now this is clean, so I can move on to the vegetables. And yeah, I see that. I'm going to get this wiped on the counter with a little antibacterial spray. There we go. Now, that's been wiped down. I'm ready to move on. Okay. So, for the chicken salad, I am going to, no. This one I'm going to use for the chicken salad because it has rotisserie chicken in it. I am going to take some of those fresh onions and put in here, about 2 handfuls. It's going to give a nice crisp to it. And I'll use the rest of these onions on a different dish. Okay. We're going to take this apple. I'm going to show you a different way that I also cut an apple up. I just cut right around. I did wash this, by the way. Right around it, the core goes in the trash. And then cut it like an onion. This goes into the chicken salad. One of the things I forgot to do was get the lemon juice and coat the apple. And so I'm gonna do that as soon as I get this apple chopped. Just take a few seconds because remember, I took those lemons and put them into my freezer. Squeezed them and put the lemon juice in my freezer. So give me a second and I'll be back. All right, everyone, I realized that you had no clue that I was putting all of that into this container. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this lemon juice right over the top of these apples. Set this out to the side, and I'm gonna stir in everything into that lemon juice. Okay? And it's gonna coat the apples and keep them from turning brown on me. So, in my chicken salad. All right, so I have a nice pop of red with the apple. I have fresh onions diced up in there for a little crunch. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'll set this in here, move this out of the way. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get the celery out. Well guys, the celery froze in my refrigerator. So these are now going to be stuck in the freezer and I'll use them in soups or something. Okay, so the celery froze. So I'm going to get an already used bag that I use for produce or something else. And I'm going to take all of these. We're just going to take them out. And bag them up and put them in the freezer. And I'll use them in a soup. Okay? Once they're frozen, then they have to be, hold on a minute, there's a couple in there. Once they're frozen, then they have to be used in a soup or something like that. So, in case you didn't know that. So, we're going to use that in a soup. So, meal on the celery. I'll stick that into where my onions and bell peppers are. Alright, so now I have the chicken salad, but I need to put mayonnaise in it. That's the vegetables I had left over, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put mayonnaise in it. That should be enough. Okay. And there's enough in there for another salad or something, okay? Then I do like a pop of flavor with my chicken salad. So what I'm going to do is let me see if this is open. Nope, it's not. It was closed. This is Dijon mustard. Put a little bit. In here. We're going to mix this up. And now I have chicken salad. To enjoy for a few days. That tastes good. Mm-hmm. Hold on a minute, I dropped something. Nope, leave it. Ah! There. I dropped something on the floor and it had mustard in it, and that will tear his stomach up for sure. All right, so now I have chicken salad. It's going to go in the refrigerator. Okay. I'm going to take a little bite of it with everything in there. This is so good. That Dijon mustard took it over the top. Now, I'm going to take the other chicken, put it in the refrigerator, because I'm going to make something with this. Along with the rest of the onions. Okay. I had to go sit down for about 3 or 4 minutes. And now I am going to take these items, and let's hope it doesn't knock the camera over. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the dishwasher. That is why I unloaded the dishwasher. So I can do this as I go. Okay. So we're going to put these items in the dishwasher as clean as I go. Okay. Now wipe everything down again. And now we're going to move on to the cucumbers. Okay. So let me get a bowl out. Okay. Get a bowl out to make this cucumber salad in. And basically what I'm going to do with this cucumber is I've got to get these, this is my nesting bowls. And so I've got to get these cucumbers sliced up. So this is basically going to be sliced up cucumbers that I'm going to eat along with ranch dressing. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to put this here. I'm going to come in, move these over here. And you know I like my cucumbers peeled, so we're going to peel these cucumbers and see that they are indeed okay. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare them and slice them up so that I can eat them with my ranch dressing or my hummus, whichever one. Okay. And if I have them sliced up, I will eat them. All right, I have a bad spot in this, so we're going to cut into it and see how deep that is. Not too deep. All right. Then I'm going to slice these up, just like this. This is a little spongy in there, so I'm going to cut that section out. It's not crisp. There we go. We're just going to make cucumber like chips. For me to enjoy. This happens to be a cucumber I got from the farm. So we'll mix them up. Starting next month, that's why I'm not going to the food bank or the farm right now, this week, is because I'm getting my ducks in order so I don't lose produce because I have too much in my refrigerator, okay? The things that I want to leave fresh, I want to be able to eat them up and not waste them. So. I am going to go ahead and slice all these up and bring you back when they are done. Okay. And show you what I have. Okay. I'm bringing you back so you can see that I have a whole bowl full of sliced cucumbers now. And that does not even include the ones I got from the garden. These that I got from the garden. These will go in the refrigerator, and as soon as I eat those, then I'll get to the fresh ones from my garden. All right, everyone. I got my hair up. Okay. Got my hair up. And I have me a little frozen treat. Whenever I make fruit smoothies, if I have any left over after I fill my glass in the morning, I pop it into these containers and pop it in the freezer. And it makes a nice frozen treat for later on, okay? So, I'm using up the bananas and the strawberries. I used up the bag that I had in the upright freezer, but I have to go into my vegetable and fruit freezer and see if I have any more. Okay, that's going to be another day. But right now, I'm going to sit out here and enjoy this frozen treat while Spice is out doing his business. He wanted to come outside. And so I'm going to enjoy this frozen treat while I sit down and relax a little bit, and then I'll get back in the kitchen. For dinner tonight, I am having tuna fish sandwich with refrigerated onions and cucumber, pickled onions and cucumber, okay? I had those in the refrigerator from a video I did quite a while ago, and so I'll link that for you guys right here so that you can have the recipe on how I made these simple, easy refrigerated pickles and onions. And this is the perfect time of year to be eating these. Well, good evening, everyone. It's a little after 6 o'clock in the evening, and I'm outside having me a special cup of coffee. And Spice is out here with me. I'm letting him enjoy himself outside this evening. He is down here up underneath my feet, keeping a watchful eye. He loves sitting out here with me for a little while before we go in. I want to thank you all for coming along with me today in my daily chores and my daily life. And yeah, I always love taking you guys along with me. I am going to leave some playlists for you guys to watch, along with a subscribe button. I want to thank you guys because every video you watch, every like, share, every subscribe, and every comment that you leave down below makes a difference. You're making a difference in my life, and I hope that I'm blessing you along the process. So, I will see you tomorrow.